Testing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to WOR, World Online Racing, console tier number 3, season 22, of course. We're here now in round 2, and we've been absolutely blessed with Silverstone, one of the most iconic tracks on the Formula One calendar, of course. Let's get over to the Red Bull. That's the wrong Red Bull. This is the right, this is the V-Carb, actually. Clockwise track, 18 corners, 2 DRS zones, of course, coming out of turn number 5, entry, DRS detection zone, just coming out of farm curve into village, and then the final DRS, of course, just coming down now, this hang straight, watching on this V-Carb. DRS detection point just before Maggots, just after turn number 10, and then it's activated on turn 14 down to turn 15, and here we are coming around the final corner to be the first driver to set a lap record around Silverstone is a 1:27.097 set by Max Verstappen himself all the way back in 2020. No new lap record in 5 years, and let's see if a couple of these drivers will be able to break into those 127, so maybe into the 126s for sure. And we're heading out of the first sector. 27 for Lagos in the first sector. Now heading into Luffield of turn number 7, 8, and 7 and 8 actually. Coming down Woodcote down towards Cobb. I'm going to get the standing up for the tier. Indeed, Max Verstappen. Indeed. So, Lagos, second lap. Now coming towards the end of the second sector. This is the second DRS straight for Silverstone, of course. Heading down towards Go, where Lando stand was this year. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Lando stand in 2026. I think there is going to be, and there's a Vale corner, of course. Vale chicane. Coming around the final corner, it's going to be a bank lap of 4. As a matter of fact, it was actually a very, very nice lap. Red Bull of Camo couldn't get there in time. Did manage to set a 1:26.0, so very good lap time coming in. Mr. Bean coming around the final corner. Number 18, which is Club, of course, into the 125. We are now 125.988, and Edward with a 125.740. So good lap times coming in, of course. We'll head over to the calendar, who's leading the championship at the moment. Who is going to be Melwin, still in the pit. Fluorescent put his Kit Talbot P3. As a matter of fact, Kit Talbot did very, very well in Las Vegas, finishing P2 and P3. Mr. Bean in P2 and Fluorescent in P3. So they did very, very well, may I say. Right on board with the Aston Martin, actually not on a lap, actually backed out of it. So right on board with the other V-car that we rode on board with before. Matter of fact, this is the guy that's leading the championship, won the first race of the season, and did a very, very nice drive, of course. So here we are running forward with him now on his lap, coming through entry. First DRS is now wide enabled, heading down towards Brooklyn into Luffield. He's lost the rear end, actually, completely lost the car. No, he hasn't, that's me lagging. I don't know if he lost the car or not. He seems to still be pushing. He is still pushing, so maybe that was just my side of the garage. I'm actually looking at the live stream. It's about a minute behind. Wow. Okay, fair enough. But here's Melwin coming through. Magnuson Beckett down the hangar straight. DRS wide enabled, purple middle sector. So I don't actually think he messed up in that middle sector. I'm actually 2 minutes ahead. That's how far behind the stream is. But purple middle sector. V-carb heading down towards the Vale chicane. It's going to be a very, very nice lap here for the V-carb, but maybe pushing into the 124 to come around the final corner into 125.3. That's a very nice lap time for the championship leader. And the McLaren also come around Club at the moment. He's going to be setting his lap 43. Very, very nice lap for him. Next car across the line is the Aston Martin. And he's going to put himself only P14. That's not a push lap for him. He's going to be on his push lap now. 2 Mercedes now that's across the line. One's going to put himself P13. Hopefully the other Mercedes can do a tiny bit better than his teammate. Put himself to P13. He's going to come across the line. Only P15 for Mercedes. They're not doing too well whatsoever. And Hamilton right on board with the hat of Justin, who didn't do too well in Las Vegas, crashing out. But purple sector 1 here for Justin, the man from Costa Rica, I think it is. It was very unfortunate for him. Who DNF'd in Las Vegas, so not ideal for him, but I'm sure he's going to want to get his feet back on the road, or his car, okay, back on the road. Coming through Magnuson back there, a bit shaky, actually lost the rear end, and he hasn't validated. It's him flying into the wall. Is he alright? He is alright. He is okay. Aston Martin, of course, is on that purple middle sector. Of course, 27 seconds up in time. It was not a push lap for the Aston Martin. Two out laps and then into a push lap. Heading down in towards the Vale chicane now. Very nice white helmet there, actually. I really like the plain design on that Aston Martin. He's come around the final corner. Going to put his Aston Martin into P6. No. Not too bad of a lap. Nobody else actually on a lap. While nobody's on a lap, right above the feet of who's currently on an out lap. If you are waiting for WOR PT Tier 1, if you're looking for runner, or if you're looking for the Pro League, you are at the wrong live stream. Once again, we're right on board with the V-Carb, who is who we watched their first lap. So, see how he does on his second lap. Heading over to the constructor standing, Kit Sauber currently lead the constructor standings inevitably, getting a double podium in Las Vegas. as I'm sure they'll definitely do very, very well here in Silverstone. Racing Bull in P2, Aston Martin in P3. Only 3 teams didn't get any points whatsoever in Las Vegas, and that's McLaren, Alpine, and Haas. Ferrari only getting 1 point, so just about managing to get 0 points in Las Vegas. But still running board with the V-Car. Seems to do a very, very solid first sector. Now coming down the old pit straight. This here, I went into this old pit straight in August at the Silverstone Festival. Beautiful pit lane, may I say. Beautiful pit lane. For a couple of V8 and V10 engines, and an absolutely gorgeous, may I say, in the old pit lane. New pit lane, of course, also went there as well. Very, very nice as well. But the running board with the V-Car coming round, go corner, head down, heavy braking actually, down into gear 3, locking up the rig, into a Vale corner. Coming round the final corner, turn number 18, across the line, only to put in car P10, so not a good lap for him. That car to start his lap is going to be a Red Bull. A couple of drivers are actually on a lap. GT10 van is on a lap. A Ferrari or Carmen's about to start a lap. But stick with the Red Bull of Cameron, down currently in P12. As we know, track evolution around Singapore is very, very high, very, very demanding. Silverstone is, but it's a very iconic track, as we all know that for sure. Cameron finished P6 in Las Vegas. Very, very nice. What was I going to say? Purple Sector 1. Very, very nicely done in Las Vegas. Both Red Bulls actually getting points in Las Vegas. Camus getting P6 and Godmik getting P9. So both of them manufacturing very, very nicely. Heading into Magnus and Beckett now. We're actually riding forward with the Red Bull. And absolutely love this corner. Down into gear 6 on the exit of Beckett. Into Chapel Curve. Down the hangar straight. DRS, of course, wide enabled. Yellow flag. And that is cars moving out of the way and actually trying to bridge themselves a gap. Just a reminder, if you're here for PT Tier 1, if you are here for the Pro League, you are looking at the wrong license. Camus coming into the Vale chicane, riding the inside curve there of turn number 17. Come around turn number 18, where are you going to put in Red Bull P8? Not a bad lap. Harmon's going to be the next driver across the line. Harry Cat and P9, I'm sure you're going to want to improve on that. He will only to P7. It's very, very close. Matter of fact, at the moment, Floriston's actually yellow ticket cover, who has invalidated on his lap time. Trying to catch another driver on their lap, who's actually going to be the next 2 Alpines are going to come across the line, so keep an eye on them. Edwards looking very, very quick. Let's see how he does. Actually comes into the pits is the other Alpine German, who does not manage to improve on his time. Red Bull into Vale chicane. Let's see how he can improve. Can he do better than Cameron? We'll have a look. Coming across the line, P6. 5 minutes, 42 seconds left of the session. That's about a lap each per driver. GT10 van just coming through Magnus and Beckett now. Down the hangar straight. So it's going to be 26 laps, of course, 50%. He's not a push lap. And Melwin now sets the fastest lap of the session. This lap at 125.1. Very nice lap there for the V-Car. Who did win in Vegas. And he might get the win. The Swedish man might get the win here in Silverstone. He's looking very, very mighty quick, may I say. And a lot of drivers are coming into the pits now. Trying to catch the drive on the lap. Both Aston Martins are on the lap. Ryan board with the third Aston Martin, who's coming round. Colt, where of course Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton did have that crash. He's actually invalidated on his lap time, so that's not going to benefit him whatsoever. Another driver coming round the final corner, managing to somehow avoid track limits. Not too sure how he's managed that, but look at that camera angle taking us through Magnus and Beckett. Absolutely gorgeous, may I say. But coming round, coming out of Chapel Curve, down the hangar straight. This is where the speed trap is also, just towards the hangar straight. and just fling on the steering wheel to the right, down round turn number 15, down, heading down hill, and actually coming into the pit, so never mind. And let's see if the Aston Martin hasn't moved out of the way. Trying to catch another driver on a lap, and I don't think there is anybody on a lap. Stuck in on an out lap, so he'll be the next driver to be doing a lap. And everybody seems to be coming in. So just a reminder, if you are waiting for PC Tier 1, you're looking at the wrong tier. If you are looking for an update on PC Tier 1, Ismail Fati is currently leading that race. Thomas Bronner in P2, Otis Lawrence in P3. So that is WOR PC Tier 1. And if you are looking for that tier, you're in the wrong live stream. But Ismail Fati is currently leading that race. Silverstone also Justin moving out of the way for Melwin. So he's going to be the only driver to be doing a lap. So we're right on board with Justin. In the special hat livery, and there is a driver in front of him, Lagos. He's also going to be on a lap. Justin yet to set a lap, of course. He's in the American livery in the hat car. Coming round to turn number 18, I think. So I've known Justin for a very, very long time. He's a very lovely guy. He gets up at ridiculous times to race. His passion for Formula One is undoubtedly one of the best I've ever seen. This man living all the way down in South America, really showing his dedication to WOR. So Sector 1, let's see how we did. Not a purple Sector 1. Losing the rear end, and that is not going to be a good lap for him. Spinning on the exit of Brooklyn of turn number 6, and that's going to be him. Aborting his lap, we'll switch over to Lagos, who is still pushing on his lap. Managing to avoid the track limit violation. Now we're going to ride aboard with the V-car here through Magnussen Beckett. Look how quick these drivers made it through, and actually he invalidated his lap time. Just has now retired from the session. Not long left of qualifying to go. We'll have a look at Discord. Just see if anybody has pinged me. Let's have a look. We will have a look. Dustin saying he's not a fan of the track. You can see that is inevitable. Lagos doesn't have long left of the session. 1 minute 30. He's only got one shot left to go. Lagos currently down in P13. In the V-car, 1 minute 20 left of the session. Have you charged his battery enough? You don't have full battery. Here we go for his final lap. Silverstone round number 2 coming round. Turn number 1, Abbey, farm curve into down towards village of turn number 3. Heavy braking, riding that Scottish curve on the inside. That's not what he wanted. He's actually backed out of his lap. And that is his qualifying over. We'll head over to the Alpine of F1AF, Jared. 2 Ferraris behind him in the Alpine, currently down in P12, 125.980. Very, very close, may I say, from P1 to P13, and only 8/10 of a gap. Improving on his time by, I think that's at 7/10. I don't think that's right, because that should be above 1, but he definitely improved it on his time. Both Ferraris behind him on a lap, everybody down the lap, and people trying to get their space towards the end. You can see in the village, people trying to get their gap, but the Alpine now coming round Scott into Magnussen Beckett, really pushing the car. You can see how much he's pushing that car through Magnussen Beckett. He's actually done it very, very nicely. Deploy on the exit towards Chapel Curve, down the tanker straight. DRS, of course, wide open. 2 seconds, 1 second. Qualifying is now over. Fling the car as hard as you can, coming round to go off turn number 15. Heavy braking down into gear 3, into Vale chicane. Wing it round turn number 18. It's the final corner. Where is he going to put this Alpine? Will it be an improvement? It's going to be P9. 2 Red Bull, 2 Ferraris behind him. Kiki Tan, will he make himself onto the front row? Have a look. He got improvement in time, but it's not going to be a good enough time. And his teammate puts his car into P4. Good mix. That's the wrong Red Bull. Camus takes himself onto the second row. Goal P8. That's not the next driver right across the line. The next driver right across the line is The kick carbon, he's actually locked it. I don't actually know if he's locked it or he has locked it. Coming around at the final corner, right above with Evan, who only put his car in P3. Melwin is on a lap, and he seems to be improving on his lap as well. Maybe breaking to the 124 to right above with a V-car driver. The man from Sweden coming around the final couple of corners in the Val chicane. Will he improve on his lap time? Will it be pole position? It will not be an improvement, but it will be pole position for the V-car. It's a very nice lap. Doesn't seem to be anybody else on a lap at the moment. And that's going to be pole position for the Swedish driver, Melwin, with a 125.149. Qualifying is over. Robin joined him on the front row. Robbie get a P5 in Las Vegas. I'm sure he's going to be pushing Melwin, aiming towards him on that front row. So that is going to be Swedish driver in P1, Robin P2. And we can see him right up through Maggot and back in time. Qualifying over. Just a reminder that if you are looking for a PT Tier 1, you're in the wrong tier. Melwin qualified on pole position. Robin in P2, joined him on the second row. AMS Edwards, P3. Florissant, P4. GT10 in P5. F1 Camo, P6. AMS Apple, P7. Harman, P8. Mr. Bean, P9. And in 10, P10. That's our top 10. Heading down towards the field. Only one driver not getting the lap, and it's Justin, indeed, from Costa Rica. We are in the pit lane, of course. Drivers are going to have some time to adapt their strategy. It'll be interesting to see whether drivers start on the soft, medium, or hard. The soft around Silverstone can last a ghastly amount of time, depending whether there's going to be rain. Rain plays a big factor, of course, here in Silverstone. If you look at the clouds above, there may be a chance of some rain. Clockwise track, 18 corners, it's going to be 26 laps, approximately 153 kilometers, 95 miles. One lap is 5.8 kilometers, 3.6 miles. Just a reminder that if you are waiting for PT tier number 1, you're looking at the wrong tier. But if you are waiting here and you do another result, Otis Lawrence now leads PT tier 1. Followed by Angelino and Taisho in P3. If you are looking for PT tier number 1, you are looking at the wrong live stream. You are currently watching console tier number 3, round 2. Silverstone. We're going to be going underway in 1 minute time. We will be going underway very, very shortly. Melwin, the Swedish driver, is on pole position. And there is a Brit in P2, Robin Brain in the Aston Martin, joining him on the second row. Will we get a British victory here tonight? Only time will tell. 26 laps, 153 kilometres, 95 mile track. Distance is 5.8 kilometres or 3.6 miles on a track. Here we go to the 5 red lights. Melbourne on the front row. It is lights out and away we go. Robin seems to get a decent start, but Melbourne seems to get even better. The Ferrari and the kick car by side through turn number 1 already. They're still going side by side. Robin might have a look here down the inside on lap number 1. Goes side by side. Red Bull going very wide, but Melbourne managing to keep the lead into turn number 1. Still going side by side. A lot of drivers going side by side. Mr. Bean has left the session. He's out of Grand Prix already. Yellow flag further down the field. Have a look at this. Robin all over the back. of Melwin, the Quidditch driver, having a lunge here down the inside of Brooklyn. He's into the lead of the race. So he's got both on the medium compound tyre. Knocked down on the telemetry, but he's into the lead of the race. Melwin down to P2, Emmett Edwards into P3. Driver still going car by car further down the field. Having a look at this Red Bull, having a look on the outside of the McLaren, but not going to be close enough. Further up the field, GT10 van all over the back, going car by car with Florican, who's gone off the track. Further down the field, a lot of drivers all over the back of each other. You can see how close one another are to each other through Maggers and Beckett. GT10 van all over the back of Emmett Edwards. Mr. Bean had to join the session, but he had DNF, so it's very unfortunate for him. And actually let Williams run around after coming through Maggers and Beckett. Very unfortunate, but Vikov goes car by car here through go with the Alpine, but not getting the move done. We might see a launch here down the inside of Mercedes on the contact between the three. They got three wide. Look at that through the final couple of corners. The Mercedes running outside, Red Bull on the inside. And contact between the two. The Red Bull managing to keep the position. Front wing damage, debris all over the place. Mercedes off the track. Red Bull V-Carb having a look at the sister team on the Red Bull. Contact between the two. There's no violation of there. Red Bull spinning around. On lap 2, he's not going to do any favours. Basically inside the Mercedes at the moment. He's going to have to back out to stop the goat in there. Spinning further around. Dustin has spun around, and there's another car spun around as well. Further up the field, there's a gap. Florican has lost the 1 second gap to GT10. It's going to leave him very, very vulnerable. Mr. Bean has now left the session. Have a look at driving close to one another. Of course, DRS is now going to be wide enabled, heading to Maggett and Beckett now. Look how close Melwin is now all over the back of Robin. Robin into Brit, currently leading the British Grand Prix, but he's got Melwin all over the back of him. Melwin, he's going to have the DRS enabled. Will he go to the inside? Will he go to the outside? He's going to the outside. Will he have the move done? Robin is going to let him pass on the medium compound tyre. Have a look, everyone opting for the medium compound tyre. Position changes. Vivin not doing so well so far. Driving close to one another. Vivin, actually, I don't know what happened here. These two are going side by side. Once again, Red Bull trying to go round the outside. Contact between the two of them once again. Mercedes not too happy. It's another further up the field. Two drivers go side by side once again. A lot of people going side by side throughout the track, trying to keep an eye on the action. Mercedes being overtaken by the Red Bull. Red Bull are now together. Red Bull really struggling around the track. Will he have a look here down the inside? He will not. The Red Bull really struggling with the rear of his car, struggling with the traction. He's still got the DRS, but actually his teammate is going to have a lunge at him. There might be team orders between the two of them as they switch the two Mercedes around, going quite deep into turn number 6 into the loop. Again, a tiny bit fighty between these drivers here. Just a reminder, if you are joining for PT Tier 1, you are looking at the wrong tier. It's in console tier number 3, underway of round 2, season 23. Lap number 3, Melwin has now broken that 1 second gap to Robin in front of him. Will Robin have DRS? He will going to have the DRS. He's really going to have to push here to stick with the car in front as we now see Harmon overtaking Florican here further down the field. The Red Bull having a look round the outside of the V-Carb. V-Carb not wanting to fight that one out whatsoever. And it seems to be all calm now as the McLaren actually dived into the pit on the medium compound tyre. It's going to be interesting to see what he moved on to, or if it's going to be a retirement. It is going to be a retirement. That's unfortunate to see. V-Carb all over the back of the older team, the adult team, the Red Bull. Lagos is currently a Red Bull family. It's actually a DRS train all the way down to P13. Further up the field, we are keeping an eye on this. But Lagos, look at that helicopter cam. He's not going to have a look down the inside. He's going to sit behind him. Maybe use that DRS advantage down the hang straight. A lot of drivers, Lagos still all over the back of the Red Bull flourishing also now, and chasing down that Ferrari to regain his P5. Further up the field, Robert has managed to maintain that DRS gap. Could he have much DRS? He does not. Neither driver has much DRS, matter of fact. But he's managing to stick with him close enough for the battle. Further down the field is the DRS train, led by the Red Bull. No one's currently close enough to one another. Red Bull and Mercedes trying to fight with the Red Bull once again. Red Bull looking up. Mercedes not having enough on the inside of the Red Bull, but it did look very promising there for the Mercedes. Mercedes looking very close to the rear of that Red Bull, and someone now picked up the first time penalty of the session, 3 seconds for track limit violation. Oh my god, I've been on mute. I've been on mute. I truly apologise, I have been on mute. Wow. We've missed a lot of action here. I've been shouting for literally no reason. I truly apologise. I didn't even realise I was on mute. We're heading back to the field now. Lap 13 of 26. Melwin chasing down Robin. Florican chasing down Emintian in 10. And we have a big fight on our hands here for the final point position. Samu chasing down Lagos is being chased down by Vibin. Will Camus make a move here round the outside? Make a move there down the inside. What a brilliant move there for the Red Bull of Camus over the P8. That's an absolute world-class move. Will he get a fight back here from the V-Carb? No, but what an absolutely world-class move there from F1 Camus. Up into P8, HR Lagos into P9. He's got the Mercedes behind him in P10. Mercedes, Duo P10 and P11. Trailing P12, Goodman in the Red Bull, and Alpine in P13. Going to be very, very close towards the end of the race. That's an absolutely brilliant move, mate. Okay, Melwin still chasing down Robin for the win of the race. Florican P5, who's got the Alpine of Matt Edwards. Really eager behind him. You can see Matt Edwards has saved a lot of DRS. Here they're going side by side again. Mercedes trying to swing around the outside. Camus really slowing down the back there. Look how close it is between these drivers. Further down the field. I'm going to have no voice by the end of the race. Look at the V-Carb all over the back of him. Coming through car. Harmon picking up through checking time penalty. Mercedes is going to start by side entry back in. He's going to back out of that one. V-Carb not having a good exit there. Frown to cop. Mercedes all over the back of Lagos now. Lagos seems to really be struggling on the tyre pump out of time. He's going to have the help of the DRS here. Mercedes not going to be quick enough. V-Carb going to make a move. Here gets squeezed onto the rock, but back over to P8. Red Bull trying to swing one back around the outside. He's got the pace through the corners. They're going to be going side by side. Further down the field, they're still going side by side. 3 wide into the Vale chicane. Look at that. Alpine from P13 over to P14 in contact. V-Carb spun around the Mercedes. Alpine climbing back up into the point spot. They're going 3 wide into turn number 1. Emma, look at that. Mercedes, Alpine, Red Bull. That's not going to end well. Red Bull spinning around, losing contact. Alpine up into P9. Red Bull trying to fight that one. Driftman in P11. Alpine up into P9. Mercedes in P10. Ogan in P8. That's the battle of that over. Lagos spun around in the Vale chicane. It's not very good whatsoever. 3 wide into the final corner and the final and the first corner. But Sharan from P13 over to P9 in a matter of fact, 2 corners is absolutely world class. Well done. Lap 15 of 26. We're heading to the front of the field. Melwin not close enough. If you're here and you're interested, the race is over for PT Tier 1. Otis Laura wins the race for PT Tier 1. Thomas Ronner in P3 and Danny Derek Ney rounding off the podium for Console Tier number 3. Head back over to this fight and they're still going side by side. They're still pushing one another. Have a look at this. Mercedes and Red Bull not being friends with each other this race whatsoever. Goodman now take P10, Mercedes P11. And this is going to be a fight till the end of the race, I'm sure. Heading back to the front. Look how close that Alpine is now to the kickstart of lap 16 of 26. 11 laps to go in this race. AMS Edwards in P6 for us and P5. And we are keeping an eye on this battle here. Alpine now all over the back of the Mercedes. He's going to have the DRS, and it's not going to be a fight for the Mercedes to do here. Or will it? He's not going to have the straight line speed heading into Brooklyn. You can see the Alpine has the speed on the corners. Mercedes have the speed on the straights. Melwin now takes the lead of the race. Lap 16 of 26. Florican P5 at the moment. Mate, I need to stop accidentally muting myself. I'm in P7, Edward P6, Flourish P5. Robin in P2 at the moment. Losing that 1 second gap. I'm sure he's going to be deploying here. Look how low Giaretti has actually lost that 1 second gap to Melvin. That might be Melvin waving goodbye to the Aston Martin. It might not be a British win here in Silverstone. That's unfortunate to see, but it is lucky to see. Melvin might be winning 2 races in a row. Florian chasing down the Aston Martin at the moment. Aston Martin currently P2 and P4 doing very, very well. Further down the field, Alpine just coming through Magnussen Beckett, chasing down the Mercedes now coming out of Chapel Curve, turn number 14. DRS now wide enabled. Will he make a move here? It's kind of a swing one. Round the outside, might be a switchback. Not really pushing that move on the Mercedes. Will he have a look here down the inside? He will not. And he will be sitting behind him for another lap. And it has been very, very chaotic between the drivers at the moment. Samu has now called back up. Samu's actually left the session. Lagos has not. I think Lagos does have front wing damage, if I'm not mistaken. Jerome, all over the left of the stadium, he does not have the straight line speed here. Not having a look there down the inside either. As Melbourne is now checked out at the front. 2.1 second gap. Have a look at that helicopter cam. For the Richards, current stats in P5. We have 8 laps to go. For P5, AMS Edward, P6, Harmon. Still looking in the background. We might see a move here from AMS Edward. Going down the inside of the Velsh cage, still going side by side. Keep Carver not going to want to give that one up. Pushing, shoving between the two of them. Still going side by side here. Through the final corner of Club. The Alpine does move up into P5. And Alpine are having a very, very good race today. Look at that, AMS Edwards up in a P5. Florian couldn't do absolutely nothing about that. Down in P6, Heyman, P7. Now they're chasing down Florian. He's got that 15-second gap to the Alpine, who might have a look here down the inside of turn 1. Very much quicker than the Mercedes. Mercedes seem to be struggling a lot more now with a slow exit of Club. You can see how much traction that Alpine had through the corners, and he's now much closer to that Mercedes. But look at the pace on that Mercedes on the straight line. Absolutely unbelievable. Lap number 19 of lap number 20. Florissant still managing to stick with AMS Edwards at the moment. Harmon still lurking in the background of that fight also. It's currently a 3-way fight for P8. Lagos is now coming to the pit. Cosmic P10, he might confirm and conceal his place in P10. Yellow flag as Lagos now retired in the pit. Fluorescent P6, Harmon P7, Jaren P9. Much closer to the Mercedes here. Will he make a move on the Mercedes? Has a look on the outside. Mercedes defends very, very nicely. Parks his car in the middle of the track, going into third, and it's very, very nicely done. And the Mercedes has a look here down the inside. Alpine, Mercedes trying to fight this one off. Still pushing the Alpine, but he's got the straight line speed. Mercedes defending that one absolutely brilliantly. May I say, Alpine trying to have a look, trying to get past him. He's got the speed, but he can't manage to get past him whatsoever. And the Red Bull still laughing in the background. Don't count this Mercedes out, because he's still there, lurking in the background. Alpine still chasing down that Mercedes, for a very, very, very long time. And he doesn't have much ERS left in that Formula 1 car. Written to pieces at the moment. Chasing down AMF Edward. GT10 and close the gap to Robin. GT10. Will he make a move here down the inside of Stowe? Lap 20 of 26. Melvin is now going to be starting lap 21 very, very shortly. But we look further down the field, they might be going side by side here. No one's going to be making a move. But Duran going to have the DRS here. Will he finally be able to get past his Mercedes? Where's this Mercedes going to pass this time? He's not going to get past him once again. Good mix still lurking in the background. Much closer to the Alpine than he was on the previous lap. But the Alpine still really, really struggling to get past this Mercedes at the moment. As I'm sure he's going to be very, very frustrated with himself, wanting to get past his Mercedes when he can, if he can. And hopefully he will be able to get past him. Had one Alpine chasing the Mercedes, the other chasing down an Aston Martin 4P4. GT10 chasing down the Aston Martin 4P2. Durham struggling through Brookland and Luffield at the moment. Still chasing down the Mercedes, 0.3 tenths gap. Sure, he's going to be chasing that down. GT10 had to look here around the outside of Stowe, trying to bit of contact between the two drivers, the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. The Aston Martin not going to want to give that one up, but the Ferrari just has the inside line, going into the Bell chicane. Look up from the Aston Martin, still fighting, going side by side, but the Aston Martin manages to stay ahead of the Ferrari. Very good racing between the two of them, as I'm sure the Ferrari's not going to be too happy. He did not manage to get ahead of that Mercedes. Now, so the other Mercedes going side by side through the Alpine, not managing to make a move here. He will not make a move. I'm so tired, I don't have a clue what's going on. But yeah. The Alpine really trying to get past this Mercedes at the moment. And the other Alpine trying to get past Aston Martin, and the Ferrari trying to get past the Aston Martin. Ferrari hugging the inside line very nicely there in Luffield. Time number 7. Heading to turn number 8, down the old pit straight. Lap 22 of lap 26. Ferrari chasing down an Aston Martin. There's an Alpine chasing down an Aston Martin. There's an Alpine chasing down a Mercedes. All drivers really pushing it as much as they can. The Ferrari really pushing it as much as they can to get the maximum amount of points. Ferrari pushing it, ERS and DRS. Wide and able, going for the inside now. Will the Aston Martin fight this one back? I don't think he will. He's not going to have the pace. And it's going to be him waving goodbye to the Ferrari. There's not much he can do there whatsoever. Another Alpine going to have the DRS wide enabled. I'm sure he's going to really push now to try and overtake this Mercedes. Have a look round the outside. Mercedes defending absolutely brilliantly once again. Not much the Alpine can do in that situation. Mercedes defending very, very nicely indeed. Have a look at this fight here. Robin, it's a 5-way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way fight. 6-way fight for a podium space at the moment. GT10, 6.6 second gap. He's not going to have ERS at the moment. Robin in P3, all over the back of the Ferrari. His teammate in P4. Nearly breaking out the DRS at the moment. AMF Edward in P5 for Rick in P6. Heyman in P7. Jerome still trying to get past this Mercedes as much as he can. 4 laps to go in this race. The laps are ticking down and the driver don't have as much to make their overtake. Alpine still looking much very eager to get past the two Aston Martin. Seem to really be struggling. Everybody is on the harder compound tyre. Disabled telemetry. Robin in P3, the final podium spot at the moment, but I'm sure he's not going to give that one up without a fight. AMF, no, Duran, all over the back of the Mercedes here. He's got a DRS charged up. Does the Mercedes? No, he does not. Mercedes has really good straight line speed here. We're on that 24-26. He's much, much closer this time. Alpine tried to swing around the outside. That is contact between the two of them. Red Bull swing around the Mercedes. Mercedes gone off into the wall. Big, big crash for the Mercedes. Into the wall. Coming out of go into the pit. That is going to be. And potentially a retirement for the Mercedes. Picking up a 10-second time penalty in the pit. I'm sure I'll be very surprised if that's not going to be a retirement. It's going to be him changing the front wing. Very unfortunate to see crashing in Formula 1, but there's not much you can do. Lap 24 of 26, we're nearly there. We are nearly there. Final podium spot is underway. GT10 and P2 at the moment. Robin has actually lost his DRS to the Ferrari in front. He's got a teammate behind him all over the back of him. 6th, closing him down for the final position. AMS Edwards also there in that fight. All drivers are very good on that ERS. Robin has actually used up every single final bit of his ERS. Have a look at how close these two Aston Martins are together. And Melbourne is now going to be starting the penultimate lap of the race. GT10 trying to pull away from the Aston Martin behind him. 1.5 second gap as his teammate is going to be getting closed down. AMS Edward also there in that fight. No other fight happening further down the field. Harmon is very, very safe with that penalty. 20-second gap to P8. Jaram at the moment in P8 has done a very, very nice comeback drive. We'll have a look at position changes. Duran 4 positions and 5 in up 5 positions. All drivers on a harder competitive time. Both Aston Martins, no team ordered between these two. Robin fighting his teammate, still by himself. I got it through Brooklyn, Bluffett and Woodcourt. He's now enabled the Alpine to still lurk in the background. Florican 8/10 behind. We're not going to be close up. They're going to be going side by side. It's actually might be a tactical switch between the two. They're fighting side by side. No team ordered between the two Aston Martin. Indent up into P3. Robin in P4. Fighting side by side. Both of them very low on their ERS. Alpine doing very well on his ERS at the moment. Alpine chasing down Robin, trying to chase down for a podium spot. Having a look here around the outside. When he gets squeezed off the track, tiny bit of contact between the two drivers. Alpine not managing to get a move here. They might be under pressure here from the kickstart. A tiny bit of contact. There's a lock up between the two. Florissant trying to get a move over to P5. And AMS Edwards could not get the move done on starting the final lap of this race. Robin in P4, Indent in P3. Melvin had checked out. GT10 in P2, Indent in P3 to fight for the final spot on the podium at the moment. Indent in P3. Robin in P4, Florican in P5, AMS Edwards in P6. Nobody else close enough to one another to make a move or a lunge for the final podium spot. But we will run forward with these drivers. AMS Edward, I'm sure, is going to be saving 50% on the Alpine, about 40 on the Kickstarter, very low on Robin. Robin now picked up a 3-second time penalty. Indent, very low also. So I don't think anyone's going to be close enough here. There's going to be very close team orders. I don't think there are going to be any. Between you two out, and what are the? He's got a puncher! He's got a puncher! Look at that! He's got a puncher through back in. Robin, look at that! He's going to plummet down the field. I wonder what happened between him. Aston Martin's got a puncher. That's him in the podium, completely out. And that's going to be Melwin winning this race, coming around the final corner. Absolute dominating drive for the Swedish man. GT10 in P2. They're going to be fighting here, maybe. Alpine, no, he's not going to be close enough. GT10 takes up P2. Indent in P3, picking up the final point podium. Florican in P4. AMS Edwards in P5. Harmon picks up P6. Robin trying to limp home the 3-man Lewis Hamilton drive that he did in P7. Jerem in P8. Jerem now on contention for the podium, finishing P7. Jerem in P8, Godmick in P9, and the man to take home the final point position. Coming home very, very slowly indeed. I don't know if the Mercedes has a puncture or what it's doing. Oh, we don't have a puncture, front left puncture on this Mercedes, hence why it's going very, very slow. You can see that this Mercedes also going very, very slow. Not too sure what's happening between these three. Is this with controller? No, it's with wheel. I mean, if drivers are doing this on controller, I congratulate them, but no, it will be with wheel. Ozan come around the final corner. Pick up. Eventually, P10. So that is our podium. A very, very good drive for Melwin in the V car. That's back-to-back win for the V car. GT10 in the Ferrari picking up P2, and the Aston Martin. One of them, something was going to happen. In P3, the other Aston Martin picking up a puncher through Maggott and Beckett. Florissant picking up P4, AMS Edwards picking up P5. Harmon in P6, Robin Brain. The man with the puncher in P7. I'm sure he's not going to be too happy with himself there. Jerem, who fought through the field very, very nicely. From P12 up into P8, goes mid P9, and Ozan in P10. Inden from 10th on the grid to P3. Brilliant drive, brilliant race. That is console tier number 3, round 2. Silverstone, thank you for joining me. Melwin, back-to-back Swedish wins for the Swedish driver, and that extends his gap in the championship up to 50 points.